Hey guys, what's up? This is your friendly neighbor Punk bringing you your first Black Ops 4 video. This video is going to go over a lot of different things, basically just be the basics of what you want to know before you get in your first game of zombies, so you can be the most equipped and set up and ready to go on your first adventure. So first off, we're going through all of the attachments slash weapons, just showing off that there's a lot of different combinations. It's a pick 5 system for the attachments, with the exclusion of one different optic you can pick, and then you can also pick an operator mod. I didn't mess with it too much, so I don't have super specifics on how all those work, but I believe you can equip one operator mod if you have it unlocked. Of course, this is offline play footage right here, so obviously no one has grinded this hard to get all the weapons maxed out, and they work very similar to Black Ops 3. So if you remember, on Black Ops 3 you had to level up each gun to get another attachment or to unlock more items, unlock the operator mod obviously when you max out the weapon or do a specific task with the weapon. I don't know on that yet because I didn't have footage of the servers online at the time of recording this video, so I couldn't specify all those little details, but this is just basically going over how they work. Some weapons you can see on screen have high caliber and high caliber 2. They have two different variants of the same one, just making it an upgraded additional version. Of course, you can pick 5 different attachments, one optic and one operator mod if unlocked. And you should be able to, once online, I'm assuming, switch camos and do more details on that. But since that's not extremely crucial on how that all works, I just wanted to show you this footage and get it out as quick as possible for you guys right at the launch of it when we are allowed to upload this footage. Next, you got obviously just, attachments on all of your different weapons, including pistols. Obviously the knife doesn't have any attachments, but you can put a knife attachment on the stripe, for example. There's a lot of crazy cool operator mods and a lot of different things, and you can use these across all game modes, so it's really awesome. You have to unlock them in each of the different game modes. So for Blackout you have to, I believe, get everything maxed out and etc., but we're not playing that right now. So I'm going through again, and you can see there is just tons of crazy things you can add to these weapons, attachments, and double extended mags, double grip, like lots of cool things that just make the gun or the weapons a lot better, a lot of customization and different playstyles to the weapons here within Zombies, which we had a little touch of that within Black Ops 3, but most of the attachments people stuck pretty similar to with them. You didn't really change or modify them much, but this gives you a lot more room for that. Next is the classes. So you select hover over your character, and you can select from your 6 different classes you have. These 6 different classes can be named different things, or they might have default names. I didn't mess with it too much, so you can see though that there is an option to check out your elixirs as well as your perks, your starting weapon, your special class, all of that. So first we get into this create a class system. We're gonna go right here into the special weapons. There's 3 different stages, and it explains what each one is. You have to level up each weapon in game to get to stage 2 and 3, etc. There is obviously the chakrams, the hammer, the scepter, and then the viper and dragon. You guys have heard all about these before. You've seen footage of them before, so I'm not going to go wasting too much time. And there's 4 different ones that you can equip on the Ether storyline, so you guys can go check that out when you get in game 2 to pick from the 4 you got there. Next, we have the elixirs. Obviously, you cannot see the online version or the mega version of them. There's only the classics, but they are a hybrid between some of the gobblegums you saw on Black Ops 3, but this is just a better way of doing it. This is a really nice system here with the elixirs. We're gonna go more in depth on these on the channel once the online servers are up and everything else is ready to go, so that we can check in to see all this crazy classic and megas you get on these. We'll also go into talismans a little bit more with that, as well as we aren't able to really confirm how those work at this time of recording. So we'll give you again another video post-launch of the game going into that. Next we have our equipment, which you got frag grenades, acid bombs, which you saw on my channel before, claymores, which work very standard to claymores, your wraith fire, which again I have a video on my channel of that, and a sentry gun. Next, what we got is the starting weapons. There's 6 of them in total, one being the SOG 9mm, the Model 087, the Welling, the Strife pistol, the RX-7 Garrison, and the MOG 12. They all work pretty much like you've played with before. Personal favorites are the 9mm and the Strife. Next, let's get into the perks. So we have Bandolier Bandit is our first perk. They have modifiers if equipped in the 4th slot, which is what you will see for all of them here. Bandolier is carry increased ammo stock and refill ammo of stowed weapons from ammo stock over time. That's if you have it as the modifier, which is having that perk in the 4th slot. So that's how Bandolier Bandit works. Next up, we got the Death Perception. See nearby enemies through walls. Receive screen indicators when enemies approach the player from off screen, and the modifiers deal increased damage to special enemy weak points. I can't read all throughout this video today, apparently. That one's going to be a pretty good one. It's pretty useful. You see it in a lot of the early footage. Next, we have Winter's Wail. When hit by a melee attack, generate a frost explosion that will freeze or slow enemies nearby. Player can carry 2. With the modifier, the player can carry an additional charge, and the field will stay around the player for a limited time, but basically making a slow field near you or right around you, which is pretty good. Next up, we have Quick Revive. Shorter delay before regenerating health and increased regeneration rate. Revive players faster. The modifier is gain a movement speed boost after health regeneration starts, as well as after you revive a player, and both players will be recharged to full health when you revive them. So if you're down, it'll put you both to full health. Next, we have Dying Wish. Instead of entering Last Stand, the player goes Berserk for 9 seconds. While Berserk, they're invulnerable and melee damage is greatly increased. Afterwards, the player is left with 1 HP. The cooldown increases with each use. The modifier is player will receive full health when no longer Berserk instead of 1 health. Next, we have Stone Cold Stronghold. Standing your ground creates a defensive circle which boosts damage and armor over time while inside. Enemies killed inside the defensive circle also boost damage and armor if using the modifier and have it in the 4th slot again. Next up, we have Victorious Tortoise. Shields block damage from all directions when held out. When a shield breaks, it will trigger a defensive explosion. The modifier is shield bash attacks can knock down heavy and mini boss enemies, which will come in handy in these maps for high rounds and lots of challenges like that. Next up, we have Deadshot Dealer. Aiming down sights snaps to the enemy's head, reduces hip spread and recoil when firing, removes scope sway. And then the modifier is gain a damage boost when on a headshot streak. So the more headshots you get in a row, the higher damage you're going to do to the enemies, which is pretty overpowered in my opinion. Next, we have Stamina Up, which is increased movement speed and sprint speed. Stamina regenerates faster, so pretty typical, but with this modifier, it gives you unlimited full sprint, and player can fire weapons while sprinting, which is brand new to the perk and is super awesome. Very good to have. Next, we have Electric Burst, which is Electric Cherry redesigned, and its reloading causes an electric discharge that damages and stuns nearby enemies. The more empty the magazine, the stronger the discharge, and basically the modifier adds on that electric damage to your melee attack shortly after, and it's more powerful the more ammo you lost in your clip. After we have that, we have PhD Slider is returned. Slide to build up a charge. Once fully charged, slide into an enemy to trigger an explosion. Gain resistance to explosive damage. And then modifiers are improved slide distance, trap immunity while sliding, and increased explosive damage while entering a slide from greater heights. After that, we have Time Slip. Equip cooldown rate increased. Mystery Box and Pack-a-Punch weapons appear faster. Greatly reduce trap and fast travel cooldowns. Special weapons with the modifier charge faster, and elixirs cool down a lot quicker. Next, we have Mule Kick, which is carry an additional primary weapon, and then with the modifier, it switch weapons faster. An additional weapon will be saved and restored on the next Mule Kick purchase if you do lose it. If you guys enjoyed this video and are hyped to get into Black Ops 4, make sure you guys drop a like. This has obviously been your friendly neighborhood Unpunk, bringing you a video here today on all of the basics. If you guys are confused, we'll have more footage and more videos out after release on a lot more of the specifics of these, going more in depth. This is just an overview of it all. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you soon. Peace.